That was so good. It's gonna be raining. Oh, for flip's sake!
What did I tell you? What did I tell you?
Fuck! It will
Yeah.
be. It will be in like 5 minutes right now. Get that flipping set, and the start of the race is very wet as well. All right, welcome back to another league race. This time we're with DNS, and this time we're in Canada. As you can see, we've got a rain-affected session, and straight away before the race has even begun, the race is on because qualifying is going to be wet in a few minutes. So literally, it's got to be bang, bang, bang. Get your laps out now, and because otherwise the track is going to be too wet to get done later in the session. So I dilly-dallied a tiny bit getting out, and I didn't have the best final chicane here. It was okay, I mean, but the fact of the matter is that I'm going to finish in P2 here. This is my first run on quali. HYT has managed to get himself pole by virtue of literally being able to get his lap done quicker. So that's literally that was literally qualifying. If you invalidated your lap on the way out, tough. That's it. You're done. You're not going to be in the contention for pole, but you can see the 3 tenths down in the first sector. So that was literally it. Like the rain was just meant that you had one lap, you had one run to get it done, and I ultimately came up short. Oh well, that's how it goes. Anyways, I have to say though, Canada is one of my favourite tracks. Is definitely one of my strongest tracks. So this game kind of. I was annoyed that I was okay with starting second, but I knew the race itself was going to start with heavy rain, and we'd go on to the race would eventually dry out. So I left my dry setup on and just kind of tweaked the differential, which I actually never changed in the end. Shit, just remembering wings and the such. So anyways, I actually going to underfuel the car just because I'm going to be spending my time in standard and lean to begin this race. Anyways, here we go, HYT and pole. Everything else, I felt pretty confident at this stage, but let's find out how we get on, shall we? Decent start, very decent start. Stick it into lean, put into rich, try and see what I can do up the first corner. I completely cook myself, go wide, luckily not to go into a spin, and the only real damage I'm going to have here is I'm going to lose second place here to Tez. And that's, yeah, look, I'll could have been an awful lot worse, so I'll take it, but these conditions are tricky. I just want to get a good feel for them. I bumped my wings up as well, so Steve behind us actually has unfortunately coming together. But anyways, P3, look, I can't complain too much at this early stage. Could have been a lot worse. Coming on to the end of lap 1, excuse me, the beginning of lap 2, I get a much better run out of this final chicane than Tez, and you could just see the difference of momentum, so I'm going to stick it into Rich. Again, not to worry about fuel. Tez goes defensive. I'm going to go around the outside. I get my braking done properly this time, leaving the space, and there we go. We get that move done. So back into second place. I'm looking to try and hunt down HYT, see if I can make any inroads on him. But it looks like he's got some good pace early on. Lap 3, Show George has passed. Tez behind. I get all sorts. I'll get messy coming out of that turn 3 and 4. A bit too much throttle application, and I'm in the wall. I've damaged my front wing, and Show George is going to pop through. And that was a kind of a big blow, I have to say, at this stage of the race for me. It was a tough one to really handle, but anyways, I'm going to try and get that fixed. Lap 4, I got the call just coming up into the hairpin before this back straight. The switch to inters is here, and I'm going to make this opportunity to change my front wing. So I'm going to lose a fair bit of track position, but I just thought maybe given the conditions it'd be better for me just to change it now, and maybe people might take each other out in the difficult conditions ahead, so maybe I can make up some positions that way. Anyways, P11, just work to do, and behind Trench there, so maybe he damaged his wing as well, or actually maybe not. Lap 6, Mercedes here is going to come out in front of Trench, and this is literally this next part of the race for me is behind Merck and behind Trench. So these guys, I think these guys may have gone towards a wet setup. I had more had a dry one. I was just waiting for the opportunity to let it go, because that's what I was waiting for in this race. Really, that's only what I was waiting for in this race was just. I'll get back to that. A bit of contact between Steve and was it Stefan? Not too sure who it was. Anyway, Steve goes back on the track and clips his front wing, come bump into the back of Trench, and so I make up that position at least. You got to see how tight it is between like I've changed my wing and the such, and like I'm right back on the like near Tez and the such, and like look at this. Stefan here is the one that's holding everyone up here. We got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 all running so close, and I'm thinking, oh, I'm okay with this. I'm in a decent position here. I just got to not damage my wing. So you got like it's just you gotta measure your braking point so carefully though, because and this is great because this gives me a chance to save some fuel and lean, which is cool because that's what I wanted to do was just save fuel for the dry part of this race. Just have a sneak up the inside, just have a think about it. But make a little bit of contact there, but nothing really doing. With Trench, this kind of gives me a bit of a poor run though, heading up this back straight, and Steve, I was hoping would not make the move here because like couldn't be like that's too risky. But no, he thinks better of it. I get a decent run out of that final chicane, but they clip the wall slightly, and this is going to give Steve the opportunity to kind of have a run at me. I don't elect to defend this. I'd see him coming, and I just leave the space. I didn't want anything to happen there, so look, get that out of his system, and maybe he can cause some problems with the guys in front, and that could bring me back into the fold later on. Again, this part of the race, I was just focused on kind of avoiding penalties, which I did in this part of the race, and just keeping it cool. Where are we? Lap 9. I mean, look at this. Like the problem is now, Steve has Steve's still on the wet, so. He's that differential in pace is beginning to show as the track just gets drier. We've got Steve here. I'm going to observe this because Steve and Trench come together. Steve just completely misses the first corner and gets Trench. I think Trench is going to keep this position. So I'm just here. I'm just chilling. I'm just again up behind all these cars, saving fuel. You can see I've actually just come back into the green, and I'm going to continue to stick it in lean because there's no point in me sticking in standard or rich. I mean, look at this. Steve had it off. He's had a moment, and his momentum is going to allow me to kind of really leapfrog Steve and himself. I take the gap down the inside. This is my corner to have. I get the move done, and Steve actually makes contact with Steve, and he's out of this race. So I thought I had fair entitlement to that corner because I had the differential, I had momentum and the inside line. Thought I would do it. Lap 11, Stefan has an off, and this gives me another position. He's going to be right on my tail though, so I'm kind of wary of that, and I'm thinking, damn, why couldn't he have stayed off a little bit longer, because he's literally driven back onto the track and he's just able to slip into my toe. And I'm thinking, please don't go down the inside, please don't. And thankfully he did not. But I did get a warning for that though, so that was my second warning. Yeah, I mean, not too bad. Like, things could be a lot worse. Lap 16. So again, just to quantify, like this part of the race, I'm saving fuel. I'm waiting for the dry conditions to come because I knew they were coming, and I knew my setup then would come right back into play. I knew that I should be able to overtake these guys. And we got Tez in third and Show George in second, and HYT just ran away with this one. Like, he was just, when we were all lapping in 22s, when we were all lapping in 23s and 24s, he's lapping in 22, so he just had the extra pace in the wet today. Great timing on this call from Jeff. We get the call to come in and switch onto the dry tyres right as we go back straight, and DRS is actually going to be enabled as I'm in the pits here. So set of super softs, take down the wing to 4. I wish I've completely forgotten about my differential, and I'm kind of annoyed by that, but I don't think it mattered too much in the end. We're going to get to jump on Merck. I believe he had a 5-second stop go for speeding in the pit lane, so this is going to promote me into P5, and I can try and get after Trench in P4. Now, my mentality at this point was just push. Like, this is what I've been waiting 18 laps for this. Like, it's go time. It is absolutely go time, and unfortunately, straight away I pick up my third warning and pick up my first penalty, and there's going to be a few more of those to come. Lap 18, I'm heading after Trench. I need to get this done. I know Tez is up the road and I want that podium spot. I go very aggressive on that last chicane. I cut it. I get the warning. But I'm just closing on Trench, but nothing going into that first corner. Everyone kind of had the super softs on, and I think except Show George. It was a logical tire to put, but anyways, lap 19, later in the lap, I think, and again, I'm closing. I think about a look down the inside, but again, I have to bide my time. There's nothing doing on this occasion. It's about being patient. It's about making sure you're there when the opportunity presents itself, and I just didn't have it into that hairpin. But will I have something going down into this back straight? I think I'm a little bit too far. So the thing I like to focus on, if I know I can't get a run at them heading into that chicane or get a move done by then, I'll just kind of go slow in, fast out through that last chicane, and just hope that they mess up their exit. I got close on this occasion to Trench, but nothing doing as of yet for P4. Lap 20, later that lap, I get a much better run out of that little slingshot, and this is another great opportunity. Overtaking place, this area of the track, if you can get a good run out of there, and I do. I slip it down the inside, and I'm going to we're going to stick it, keep it in rich, because Trench he's not done with us yet, but me having the DRS, I will be able to out drag him up this straight, and I'll slot in and take that fourth position for my own. So now I completely obliterate that chicane, and pretty rightly get a penalty for it. So I'm aggressive, like I'm there. I'm setting the fastest laps of the race. The gap is 3.1 seconds to Tez, but I had to be really careful about this corner cut and stuff, because it's going to really bite me in the ass. Lap 22, Tez has a moment off, and this allows us to kind of close our second half or so onto him. And this is great, because I do believe I have legitimate pace around Canada. My fastest lap in time trials is a 10 flat, and with a definitely potential for a 9. So I do fancy myself around this place. Lap 22, I get a much better run out of the final chicane. One of my best runs of the race, and just dip into the toe, DRS, rich revs, switch to the inside. I accidentally cut that, but Tez defends this well, and I'm not going to be able to do anything about it on this occasion. But this is a hunt for the podium, so you're damn right I am wanting to keep at this. And another penalty, that's my third. It's 9 seconds, thinking shit, I really have to be so careful here. Again, having a sniff, but nothing doing. If I can get a good run out of here, perhaps I can set myself up maybe for a decent run at the chicane, and then maybe if I get a good sling out of that, maybe possibly something going into the hairpin. Get an okay run, and Tez does as well. I'm going to keep it in rich, but I don't think I'm going to be able to do anything about it this time. I just keep nice and tight. If I can't get an opportunity into that hairpin, I just try and exit that corner as best as I can to kind of give me the best launch. And I'm a little bit closer to Tez on this occasion, but I don't think this is not a great opportunity to make an overtake. If you're realistically trying to overtake on that straight, you need to have it done before the braking zone, really, because otherwise you're done. They're trying to do anything around the outside, but I got a really good run out of that last corner, down the inside, snap of oversteer. There's a little bit of contact, but get the move done. Not exactly the way I wanted to get it done. I like a snap of oversteer at the end. Kind of made things awkward, but Tez was, he's good enough to get out of that. And there we go. That is P3. That was literally the end of the race. The rest of that race was literally me just kind of trying to build a 3-second buffer to Tez in case I got another penalty, or in case he had only 2 penalties, and trying to get the gap under 10 seconds to Show George in case there was something there. All in all, I can't really complain too much. I mean, the wing damage definitely sucked, but literally you're going to see as I come across the line, I remain 9 seconds behind Show George. Which means my penalties and my wing damage really, it didn't mean anything in the end. There was nothing that could have been gained from this race if I hadn't kind of done either of those, really. So there you go, P3. Can't complain with that. Kind of another day my rivals struggled. I was able to make up some points in the standings, so can't complain. Yeah, I mean, good race. I mean, congratulations to HYT and the other and Show George. HYT just had that race in his pocket from just like literally he was just on another level today in the wet, and that really just helped him build up a massive lead, while everyone else, we all kind of tripped up in our own way. So anyways, that is Canada. That is it for round 8 of DNS. Next up is it's round 7. Next up was round 8, which is Azerbaijan, so that'll be interesting. A track I also kind of fancy myself at, so should be interesting. Look, P3 is as good as I was going to get today, so I forgot I extended this last bit, this last section a tad, but anyway, P3, I'll take it. Next up, Azerbaijan, so that should be very fun indeed, so I'm looking very much forward to that. So until next time.